Becoming the youngest player to ever earn a PGA Tour card, Tryon garnered a lot of hype and attention. Many thought he would be the next great phenom turned superstar in golf. However, after only a couple years on tour, he quickly flamed out, and it sparked the debate of how young is too young for the PGA Tour. Greetings y'all, it's your knock Peter Mata, and welcome back to another Golf Stories video. Today, we're going to be talking about what happened to Tryon. Son to Bill and Georgia Tryon, William Augustus Tryon IV was born in Raleigh, North Carolina. Picking up golf at a young age, he earned the nickname Ty from Chevy Chase's Caddyshack character, Ty Webb. After showing remarkable talent as a young kid, Ty's dad began sending videos of Ty hitting golf balls to everyone's favorite golf coach, David Ledbetter. By the time he was 9 years old, Ty's family moved to Florida and he was enrolled into Ledbetter's Golf Academy. As he continued to grow up and improve his golf skills, Ty quickly made his mark on the junior circuit. He racked up multiple AJGA titles in 1999 and 2000, and he also claimed the 2000 Junior PGA Championship by a whopping 10 shots. In March 2001, Ty took his game to another level. At the age of 16 years and 9 months, Ty not only qualified for the Honda Classic, but he also made the cut at that event. This made him one of the youngest players to ever make a PGA Tour cut. Later that summer, he also qualified and made the cut at the BC Open. With these nice showings as an amateur, people began to really charge up the hype train for Ty. And in the fall of that year, the hype grew even more, as Ty controversially went for an actual tour run at Q School. Incredible enough, Ty survived all the stages of qualifying, and with his tied 23rd finish at the final stage, he earned his tour card for the 2002 PGA Tour season. At the wee old age of 17, he became the youngest player to ever earn his tour card in exempt status in this manner. And following his qualification, sponsors naturally flocked and quickly jumped on the hype train themselves. As a result, Ty ended up signing lucrative endorsement deals with Callaway and Target. In total, these deals were estimated to be in the upper 7 digits. So obviously, things were going pretty sweet for this precocious phenom. Unfortunately though, after this truly amazing accomplishment, Ty's career began to decline just as quickly as it came up. In his first 4 starts of the 2002 PGA Tour season, he missed the cut at all 4 events. He then contracted a nasty case of mononucleosis, or y'all probably know it better as mono. Consequently, Ty took about a half a year off from the PGA Tour. He would later return in the fall, but in only 2 more events. And in those events, he produced mediocre results. One pedestrian tied 41st, and yet another miscut. Despite these results, Ty was able to receive a medical exemption for 2003 because he missed most of 2002 with his illness. However, even with this second chance, Ty was still not able to find any rhythm, and he continued to return poor results. In 21 events that year, he only had 1 top 10 finish and only made 4 cuts in total. Overall, he finished 196 in the money list. With these results, Ty lost his tour card and was forced to go to the now Korn Ferry Tour for the 2004 season in order to try to earn it back. With his confidence shook, Ty continued to struggle. In 22 starts on the Korn Ferry Tour in 2004, he never registered a finish better than tied 48th, and he only made 6 cuts in total. Overall, by season's end, he finished 199th on that tour's money list. Now, at 20 years old, Ty was relegated back to the mini tour circuit. From 2005 to 2012, he played on many different mini tours where he found mixed results. While he eventually claimed his first professional win on those tours, Ty didn't produce the results he needed to reclaim even Korn Ferry Tour status. Despite that, Ty continued to grind. He often entered different Monday qualifiers for PGA Tour and Korn Ferry Tour events, and he even tried qualifying for the US Open. To his credit, he did qualify for the 2010 and 2011 US Open. He didn't have great results in those events, but he seemingly found some good rhythm in his game as he was able to get to the final stage of Q School in each of those years. While he didn't earn his PGA Tour card back, he did get some conditional status on the Korn Ferry Tour. Sadly though, he couldn't build on those results as he missed 9 out of 10 cuts in the 2011 and 2012 seasons. After 2012 and for most of the mid-2010s, he stepped away from competitive golf and worked as a multi-tool worker, as he called it. For a time, he worked as a pro at a country club. For another time, he worked as an event manager at a restaurant. And later, he got into a good bit of traveling around the world and a lot in China, where he served as a golf coach, a mentor, and a caddy to young players. He also became a more focused family man as he got married and became a father. While these experiences helped Ty to mature and gain great perspective on life, he missed competitive golf and felt he still had more to offer. Thus, in 2018, he gave competitive golf another go at it. He took his game to the mini tour circuit again, and he even qualified for a couple Korn Ferry Tour events. While he hasn't found too much success in this most recent comeback, Ty stated he'll be in it for the long haul. As he said, quote, "When I came back into the fold and started competing again, I said, I'm not going to quit anymore. I think that's the difference. I'm not going to fall back and stop playing. At the very least, I'll make money on small tours, mini tours if I have to, however long it takes. As long as I'm in the red, I'll keep moving forward." So I think this is a good time to bring up that big question. What exactly happened to Ty Tryon? Why didn't he succeed in the first place? First off, it's good to hear that Ty seems to be in a good spot with where he's at currently. He's happy with his family life, and he's appreciative to have the opportunity to just play competitive golf again. No matter if this latest comeback ends up succeeding or failing, it's good that he's keeping his head up and his head straight. In terms of his golf career to this point, we unfortunately do have to state that it's been a failure and a disappointment, which, as harsh as it sounds, is primarily why people, including myself, find this story to be interesting. You know, he's not going to be the first phenom golfer or athlete to ever flame out, and he won't be the last. Hell, I've talked about some other cases in my other videos. At least in those cases though, those players eventually found success in their pro careers. Even guys that were in similar situations as Ty. Kevin Na and Siwoo Kim both turned pro at 17, received their tour cards at a young age, and struggled at first. But they too eventually grinded it out, and both have made a career for themselves on the tour to this point. The thing with Ty is that he's like a draft bust. Specifically like in the NBA when they used to allow high schoolers in the league. Sure, there were those who succeeded well, but there was just the same amount, if not more, who flamed out similarly to Ty. The big thing with why some of these young phenoms flame out, and specifically with Ty, is the mental aspect of it. Typically what happens is that for their entire life to that point, they've had more talent than anyone else, and as they grow up, the game is just easy to them. This is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but it does give you a bit of a false impression of the game. And where it really comes back to bite is when the struggles and failures start to creep in. Especially in golf, as we know, you're going to fail and lose a whole lot more than you succeed. And you have to be able to know how to deal with that. And unfortunately, some phenoms don't learn how to deal with it immediately. This is very prominent in Ty's case because the game came so easily when he was young. And the first time he had to deal with any sort of slump, it just so happened to occur when he got onto the PGA Tour. And because he couldn't find a way to deal with it immediately, he lost confidence and belief in his game. And in these cases, it also doesn't help with the hype that surrounds these phenoms, because it magnifies all their struggles in the spotlight. Also, certainly everyone's favorite coach, David Ledbetter, deserves some blame for Ty's game too. I could probably make a whole video on Ledbetter, but the biggest thing with him is his insistence on having the quote-unquote flawless mechanics. While it at times produces a nice motion, it too often makes his students turn into swing robots out there. In short, his teachings make players focus too much on making this quote-unquote perfect swing instead of focusing on scoring and using their natural abilities to adjust. On another note for Ty's case, I will say also it didn't help that the PGA Tour changed the age limit policy to 18 years old just as he earned his tour card. Not that it ended up mattering because Ty was out with mono for most of 2002, but it still forced him to go into the season without fully knowing what his schedule would be like. Either way, Ty's failures as a high school PGA Tour player has had a lasting impact. It ended up solidifying the PGA Tour age limit policy, as now most basically call it the Tryon rule. His failures also, and I'm speculating here, is likely a big reason why the tour ended up changing their qualifying process. If you haven't done so already, check out my video on how to make it to the PGA Tour. Basically, the tour changed the qualifying process in 2013 so that Q School is no longer a direct pipeline to the PGA Tour. It's now a direct pipeline to the Korn Ferry Tour, which essentially makes players go to the minor leagues before getting on tour. They want to ensure as much as possible that a player is ready once they get on tour, and basically prevent anything like a Ty Tryon from ever happening again. Anyways, as I said in my Michelle Wie video, Ty's story is also a classic example of too much too soon. In this early 2000s golf era, every parent and every kid wanted to pretty much make it happen like Tiger Woods. But alas, not everyone is built like that. At the end of the day, I wish Ty Tryon well. From what I've researched, he seems to have found peace and really is more appreciative for everything golf has given him. As we've seen with other phenom busts, some become very bitter and some even get into trouble with drugs and alcohol. So it's good to hear that that didn't happen with Ty. I also have to give him a shout out for being in the Tiger Woods golf video games back in the day. I used to love playing with him on there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. What do you think happened to Ty Tryon? I appreciate y'all for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. Your words mean something to me.